Well, good evening, race fans. We are getting settled in here tonight for the SCSRA Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series here at Talladega for 88 laps here tonight. The ARCA race was a thriller for sure, and tonight should be no different. So far, the field getting set up here in practice. We're currently 9 minutes left in the practice session. And you got Jacob in the booth here with Intensity Broadcasting calling the shots here tonight. Should be a good one. We'll have two stages. Stage break at lap 20 and a stage break at lap 45. And with the chase quickly approaching, the chase just around the corner, as this is race 9 of 10 in the regular season. We will be resetting the field with those chase points after race number 10. And kind of the drivers will get a feel for what it's like to be racing in a chase championship for the first time here in the SCSRA Cup Series. So far, at the end of practice here, Josh Hall quickest in practice with a 49.85. But as usual, practice times don't mean a whole lot here at a plate track, super speedways. The top of this group here, you got Ryan Hufford, who ended up winning the ARCA race last night. So making a select start here in the Cup Series after winning last night's race on the ARCA side of things. We'll see if he can maybe try to go 2 for 2. So far, we've got 18 drivers signed into the lobby, quite a few of which are doing double duty from last night's ARCA race. Looks like we got Carlton Charles in the field. I don't believe we saw him in the ARCA, nor did we see David Hartney or Billy Titoff. So a couple drivers. Colin Hoffman was not in the field last night. But other than those three, we also have Jay Stinson in the field here. Four drivers that did not run the ARCA Cup double duty here this week. So you gotta kind of factor that in as well. With the double duty, got a little bit more track time, maybe a little bit more experience to carry into tonight's race. Never hurts getting more seat time, and usually super speedways, as unpredictable as they are, all of the track time helps. Well, as we are down to 5 minutes left in the practice session here, let me go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors that keep the wheels rolling here with Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, first and foremost, I would like to shout out to Dev's Sports Cards here. So the SCSRA, tonight's broadcast presented by Dev Sports Cards, primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of the league. Their eBay store has a fresh batch of auctions closing soon, from star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25-cent combined shipping on qualifying orders. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. And of course, Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And in racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And so give them a peep down there at the bottom. We got them listed in the description, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching here tonight. Hopefully enjoy the broadcast, enjoy the racing. The SCSRA has definitely been an exciting one. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your platform you're watching from here tonight. Definitely helps promote greater algorithm feedback, giving us a wider presence to bigger public eyes. So got a couple more drivers signed in at the end of practice here. We're up to 20 entries here tonight. One of the bigger fields we've had in quite some time here with the Cup side. The only good explanation for the car counts kind of diminishing a little bit through the season. Obviously, the longer the season, the participation drops off, kind of like a bell curve. You think about if the driver is not in conversation for the championship battle, they're not as inclined to jump in. It's part of with league racing, it's tale older than time, at least with iRacing or any form of motorsport series hosting racing events. If they're not in it, sometimes it doesn't work out with their schedule, whatever it might be. Car counts kind of are dependent on how the season goes for each and every individual driver. But for example, here tonight at Talladega, always a wild card race. You never know what you're going to get. So you do get a couple extra drivers signing up, just like with the real life NASCAR side of things. Usually Talladega and Daytona always have 40 plus cars signed up, try to take the field, because it's often a game changer. It's the track that just about anyone can come home victorious at. All you need is that lucky break, stay out of trouble. You're going to have some big wrecks that take out some big names that have been the fastest all season. And tonight should be no different. I mean, you could have someone that's been having a terrible season up to this point show up here tonight, get a lucky break, and win the race. So it could make your season just a little bit better, and opens the doors for some of those drivers that maybe have taken the last 4 to 5 races off because of schedule and other obligations that have limited their participation. Tonight, obviously, the playing field is kind of evened up a little bit, and we should see a great race. Never know who's going to come out on top of these super speedway events. It's always luck based. There's a little bit of skill involved, definitely, with the drafting and figuring out a position to put yourself in that situation to fight for the overall race win at the end of the night. As we are cycling out of the practice session, I'll go ahead and pull up Rookie of the Year standings here in the Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series presented by Dev Sports Cards, SCSRA. Holden Wheeler with 1 win. That win coming earlier this year at Daytona, the other super speedway we've had here on the schedule. Holden Wheeler has a 56-point lead over Christopher Bishop. And as you can see, both of them in the field here tonight. Christopher Bishop has some room to make up there on Holden Wheeler. But other than that, you still have Colin Hoffman, Cale Thorpe, and Craig Schroeder, who are actively racing every week. Brandon Anderson as well. Phil Ellis Jr.'s in the field here tonight. And definitely a night where you can make up some difference on the deficits ahead of you. So we're going to go ahead hot potato style as usual in qualifying here tonight. Looks like Colin Hoffman, the first driver to hit the track here. having a pretty commendable rookie season. Had a third place, had a podium at the Roval just a handful of weeks ago, and continuing to build his trajectory with finishes in the top 5s and top 10s. So definitely could be a threat here tonight. Keep your eyes on Colin Hoffman. Matt Bands doing the double duty. He had a great run last night, came up short, finished 3rd in the ARCA race last night. So we'll see if he can run it back here again tonight with the Cup car. Cup cars do run a little bit differently than those ARCA cars do. We saw AJ Evangelista as well. Had a decent night. There's a lot of wrecks all throughout the night, no matter who you were. It felt like there's trouble waiting around every corner. And how about Lauren Vincent from last night, bringing home a podium finish, coming home 2nd, right behind Ryan Hufford. The team tactic between him and Hufford, both on the JOL designs, and they put on a good show right at the end there. 1-2 finish for their team. We'll see how they do here tonight. So coming to the line for his first timed lap, Colin Hoffman's going to set the pace here tonight, and first lap time in the books, 53.7. That is the target for everyone. 53.69 actually, correction, rounded down. Craig Schroeder's 2nd fastest, Jay Stinson, Christopher Bishop, they're all kind of rolling in here now. Ryan Gomes up to 3rd. Now Matt Bands jumps to the top spot with a 53.67. We'll have to see what Holden Wheeler has here tonight. He's always a threat for those poles. Rookie of the Year leader, and also a contender for the overall championship here with Sentinel Motorsports. Still top the board as times come filing in here. Persini at the bottom of the list for now with a 53.93. Hufford with a 54.49. And not quite top of the board. I guess he's still got, that was his warm-up lap. So we'll see what Holden Wheeler's got on his actual credited first-time lap here tonight. Garrett Walden on track, as well as David Hartney. Vince Brent jumps up to 2nd quickest for Cypress Academy. Colin Hoffman settled in with 3rd right now. Still first lap of the night, and he's 3rd quickest. That ain't half bad. So Holden Wheeler getting ready to come across the line for his first time lap. We'll see where it shakes him out. Ryan Hufford gains some ground up to 9th. Holden Wheeler parks it in 5th there with his lap time of a 53.71. Garrett Walden coming around. It looks like his lap time is going to be a 54.59, so bottom of the list there. And for qualifying here at the super speedways, it's really not that big of a deal to start up front. The draft will definitely help you move closer throughout the race here tonight. It's all about where you'll feel most comfortable starting the race here tonight. If you feel more comfortable being up front and confident that you can keep it up there, might as well set the tone and get it up there on the pole. But sometimes starting at the back is just as good. And I think that marks the end of sessions. So the race, we're rolling right on in here. I'm going to take a brief intermission. I'll be right back. Okay, so your starting lineup here for this evening from Talladega for 88 laps. Pole position belongs to Matt Baines, following it up with a podium finish last night in the ARCA race. Comes in here tonight with a pole position start alongside Vince Brent. Then you have Colin Hoffman and Craig Schroeder next row back, a pair of rookies. Holden Wheeler, also rookie contender there in the top 5. Then you have Neon Racing, teammates of Ryan Gomes and Devin Butchino. Carlton Charles and Matt Parasini. Josh Hall, that's your top 10. Then you have last night's race winner, Ryan Hufford, followed by Christopher Bishop, Lauren Vincent, and AJ Evangelista. 15th place belongs to Jay Stinson. Then you got Billy Titoff, Garrett Walden, Sharn Hill. That is your group in the top 18. Rounding out the field here tonight, you have Joe Irwin starting deep, not turning a lap time here. Sharn Hill also did not set a lap time. And you have David Hartney in 20th, Brandon Anderson in 21st, and Philip Ellis in 22nd. So stage number 1 will conclude at lap 20 here. Drivers will be setting up for that first stage break. And while they're pacing here, let us go ahead and take a quick glance at the overall championship standings. As it sits, there's only 15 drivers eligible for the chase. You can't miss more than 4 starts to maintain your eligibility for the chase. And so that's left us with 15 drivers, 3 on the outside looking in, as they'll only take the top 12 into the chase in a couple weeks' time. Vince Brent in 13th, Josh Hall in 14th, and Joe Irwin, even with a win, is the furthest back with needs a little bit of luck maybe to get into the mix, the top 12. But Matt Parasini back to the top point there, followed by Garrett Walden and Holden Wheeler. Top 3, all 2 wins apiece. Makes it very easy at a glance there who's had the star season so far. Matt Baines in 4th, Sharn Hill in 5th. They could be a sleeper. You don't count them out. If they get some wins in the books, they could be a threat. You have Lauren Vincent, who has continued to surprise everyone with his great runs here. It's not a surprise much anymore, as he's just proven that he's got what it takes to fight week in and week out. And the rest of your top 12 as pictured there. Pace cars pulled off, and we're getting ready for the start of tonight's 88-lap event. Make your picks,
green flag.
Pick your favorites, and root them on here tonight. Someone's going to come out on top after 88 laps is settled here tonight in Talladega. Drafting game, always unpredictable, always exciting. You got to dance with your partner out there and pick the right dancing partner to fight for the win. A lot of times you pick the wrong partner and you're getting turned across the field, and then you're wondering what you did wrong there. It wasn't even your fault, but that's super speedway racing in a nutshell. Sometimes the cars, depending on the model, it's not always cohesive to good bump drafting. Don't know how well that translates over into iRacing physics, but definitely real life. The Toyotas may not match up very well with the back bumper of a Chevy or a Ford, for that matter. It's crazy how they all look identical, but there's little slight cues on each individual car that makes them that unique to each other. Doesn't look like your top 3 have to worry about that concern all too much, as it's 3 Chevys leading over the Ford there in 4th of Devin Butchino. Matt Baines off to the early lead here, has a drafting partner with Colin Hoffman. That inside line working together here. Holden Wheeler 3rd. and they're just kind of settled in for now. Gotta imagine that they're not going to try to race too hard out of the gates here. Kind of get a feel of what the car's got for them here tonight. Seems like in the comment section here tonight, Billy Titoff is the fan favorite, so got his fan base rooting him on here tonight. We'll definitely see how Talladega treats everyone. 22 cars in the field, and it's kind of the feel out laps, just getting it lined up, shaken out, shaken down, and getting ready for the long race ahead here for all these drivers. Do want to give everyone at least the note that my internet keeps giving me troubles last couple weeks, so if it clips out, just stay tuned on the channel here. We will have coverage. If I have to reset my broadcast, I had to do that last night with the ARCA race. But knock on wood that we don't have to deal with that. I just like to give everyone a fair warning that the race will be covered. I will not go to bed tonight until we at least have something to show and 3 drivers to interview. So much appreciated for everyone's support of the server, keeping us tuned in. Oh,
the yellow flag is out.
We got our first caution, and I think, could be wrong, but that looked like the 79 of Billy Titoff down on underneath the yellow line. It looked like he may have been able to recover and keep from wrecking, but someone else wrecked around him, I think. So let's go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay here tonight. And we will see what brought on this first caution. First train of thought here had to have been around Billy Titoff. We'll go ahead and roll the replay here. Here's Billy Titoff at the back half of the field. You got the 15 of Christopher Bishop. Slides down onto Billy Titoff's nose. He was able to save it here, but Christopher Bishop not as lucky. He rolls up the track, collects Hartney and the 00 there of Brandon Anderson. And impressively enough for Billy Titoff, he gets down under the yellow lines, but saves the car and keeps on rolling here tonight. So not his fault necessarily, just one of those racing scenarios that plays out here at Talladega time and time again. Christopher Bishop, man, hard hit. They do get one quick repair here tonight, so it's a bummer that they have to burn that quick repair this early in the race for a couple drivers involved here on caution number 1. Well, Talladega and cautions often go hand in hand. As of lately, for whatever reason, gas mileage has also been a topic of conversation when we see these next-gen cars at the super speedways, and I don't know why that's become such a problem. Definitely like what I saw from NASCAR this year, switching up those stage brakes to help accommodate that fuel mileage game so the race didn't turn into a fuel mileage finish like it has several times before. So kind of the same thing here tonight with stage brake at lap 20 and stage brake at lap 45. It'll be close on that last run. Might need a big caution to help accommodate a late race push here so that we're not talking about gas mileage at the end of the night. So as we're rolling under caution here for lap number 6. And now we got a conspiracy theory house, so we should be golden. Last night I had some other internet. Should be just like that, quick blips in and out. As long as you stay tuned in, you shouldn't miss much more than a little I guess like basically a commercial break. It's a static commercial break where it's like we're watching old school tube television back in the day. Lights are off on the pace car. They're going to get doubled up here for the restart. Matt Baines and Colin Hoffman, I believe, are going to reset the stage here. It's weird because it shows Holden Wheeler in second, Colin Hoffman in third. And I don't think we do the choose cone here, but it's kind of confusing. But anyways, setting the field here, Matt Baines and Colin Hoffman front row, followed by Holden Wheeler and Devin Butchino. Then it is Vince Brent in fifth, Ryan Gomes in sixth with your points leader Matt Parasini, Jay Stinson, Ryan Hufford, and Garrett Wall in your top 10. Looks like David Hartney is on pit road. Might fall a lap down, might fall a couple laps down after the damage he got from that first wreck here this evening. Once the green drops, it'll be 12 laps left in the stage here. Kind of like our ARCA race last night. We definitely had a wreck early in stage one. Both of them are going to lap 20 in ARCA and Cup both. So definitely a very kind of a common template here tonight, except we're going 88 laps instead of 65, the grand distance of the Cup side of things. It's always a lot longer to get rolling here at Talladega. That start-finish line feels like a mile away from a traditional start-finish line. We're back and rolling, and it's Matt Baines gets a big jump. Oh, and the 77's getting turned. Race stays green. I'm not sure how the race stays green here. I'll try to get us a replay here in a minute, but the race stays green. Don't want to miss the live race action here, so we're going to keep it rolling, and we'll try to catch up on that replay in a little bit. For whatever reason, Colin Hoffman was able to get it gathered up and still stay in the top 5. That's wild. Okay, we got to go back a lap and see how that played out. He gets down onto the 24 of Matt Parasini. The 55 spins and gathers it back up. And it's a wild restart here for sure. No crashes, just a lot of spinning, a lot of smoke, and everyone keeps it rolling here. Three wide. Oh, Hufford just kind of clipped the 55 there. Got to give credit to these drivers on the expert saves there. That takes a lot of skill to save a car at the paces, the speed they're running here. Oh shoot, we jump right back into the live action, and it's wild here up at the front of the field. 4 wide, just a little bit further back. Lauren Vincent kind of driving 3 different lines of traffic here. He's trying to move around. 4 wide, just behind them. That's why I didn't want to go back and see a replay, because the action is up front and no caution keep it ramped up here, and only getting crazier. And that's the thing about the way these stages fall here at the Talladega race. There is no slow time. They're basically like 3 miniature heat races. Kind of like, you know, watching the duels when they come to Daytona for the Daytona 500. All the drivers know what's on the line and don't lift for a minute. So kudos to the sanctioning body here for putting on the stages as they did, because it provides us with some of the most exciting racing that you can ask for. Holden Wheeler in second there, giving the 72 Matt Bands one a heck of a push. On the outside, though, here comes Joe Irwin. As we were talking, he needs a little bit of luck. Needs a break to go his way here tonight, as he's 15th out of the 15 drivers eligible for the chase. It's not win and you're in like the playoffs were prior. Chase, it's all about points. If you have a win, you know, you might not have the points. You got to have the points, and the wins definitely help that conversation of getting those points. But for Joe Irwin, when he's not up front winning, he's had a lot of tough races. He's been in some gnarly wrecks, had some race wins that he should have had in the bag, and something just goes awry. So that 03 doing just what he's done all year, showing the pace, showing the speed, but he's a little bit on the wild side, kind of the loose cannon, and finds himself in more trouble this year than victory lane. Good run on that inside line. He's settled in there with Matt Bands behind him. Matt Parasini to the top spot. He has been the maestro of stage points here in season 12 of the SCSRA Cup Series. I've lost track of how many stages he's won, but definitely it's getting up there where you almost have to count them on 2 hands for Matt Parasini and stage wins this year. Through 8 races, we've only had stage breaks, usually at most tracks 1 stage break, but at Daytona and of course here tonight at Talladega, there's going to be 2 stages each. Next week at Charlotte for the Coke 400, it'll also be the same way, or Coke 300 basically. 200 laps, 300 miles. At Charlotte, we'll have 2 stage breaks. It's kind of the imitation Coke 600, but a little lighter because it would be a little, it's within the regulated length of the SCSRA Cup races here. Running at about, I'd say most races we're going are about 50% of advertised NASCAR lengths, which definitely tests the field. You know, you get these drivers out there for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours each week. It changes the perspective of how these races play out. That's why, you know, it's always special to have endurance length races like the Cup Series does. It tests the driver's skill set at pit stops. It tests their skills at fuel conservation, tire conservation, and you put all that together, you get a Cup race, and it's always special. It's always more exciting, and I feel like the wins mean that much more if you're up front for 2 hours a night, and you got to keep your head in the game. One time you might nod off and you're in the wall. So the true test of a race car driver comes with endurance and the length of a race. And we are down to now 5 laps left to go here in the stage. Race leader is Matt Parasini at the moment, but it looks like he's going to go high there. His teammate right behind him, that's the 92 of Vince Brent. They're catching up to the lap traffic there of David Hartney. Falls another lap down here tonight. He's going to just try to soldier on and save as many points as he can possibly save here on a rough night. on the outside, that outside line working together. They're glued nose to tail, pushing on the outside here. Joe Irwin's got an advantage. Bands looks a little bit loosey-goosey there, slice and dice as that car trying to get the clean air but also give the push on the 03. And it's crazy how much these cars move around on the racetrack and don't spin out. And sometimes we go to a track where they've just take the air off the rear bumper and they're spinning out ahead of them without ever making contact. So great battle for the stage win here. Joe Irwin has the high side, but Matt Pericini has the inside. Which trio's got the better pushing help here? Ooh, side drafting out from the 03 there. Joe Irwin gives him just a bit of a nudge, a little bit of a tap. There has been a little bit of bad blood, I believe, between those two drivers leading the race here. So hoping Joe Irwin does not rattle the cage of the 24. Both of them have what it takes to fight for a championship here. And two different spectrums of the race skill set. One is fast and reckless, while the other one is methodical and surgical with his racecraft. The 24 definitely the points leader for a reason. He's been putting together quite the campaign here in season 12 of the SCSRA. Shows up when it matters the most. Knows the format. Gets up here, wins the stages, and wins the races. So it's kind of a double whammy there. Now, some drivers just get the wins at the end of the night, kind of hold back at the back, save their stuff, and push for the win. Matt Pericini, quite the opposite. He'll be, 110% all night long. And here we are, a couple laps left. They're going to see the green-white checkered, or the green-white before the green-white checkered here, as they'll have one more lap across the line. Oh, and they're going to drop Joe Irwin as Matt Bands goes for the lead. Holden Wheeler gives him a bit too much of a bump. They're all over the place. They have saved it. All of a sudden, Joe Irwin back to the top spot. And how about this? Josh Hall up to second here by the end of stage. One more lap here. White flag in the stage. And someone's going to gather that green-white checkered stage win here tonight. Holden Wheeler's given a bunch of bumps there to the 03. That was what we saw go wrong with the 72 of Bands. It's amazing that he saved it with all the bumps. Bump drafting went wrong there. And this is what we're going to expect for the finish of the race here. And this is only stage one. Joe Irwin's holding that spot. He's looking for those bonus points. But here comes Matt Pericini with his teammate right behind him. Holden Wheeler gives a bit of a nudge to Pericini. Wow, we are not wrecking. Now we're wrecking. Oh, and they're going to wreck hard. Line's a little bit further up the track here. It looks like Joe Irwin is going to get that stage win here tonight. Man, what a crazy
caution, yellow flag.
End of stage one here. Joe Irwin steals the stage win here at the end. Got a little bit ruffled there, but he survived. But let us take a quick backtrack here onto Holden Wheeler's last lap. Josh Hall had one heck of a run there at the end as well. But we're going to keep our eyes on Holden Wheeler here, where it was getting wild and crazy. He had the 24 of Matt Pericini right alongside of him. 4 wide. You had Garrett Walden there get into him, and well, when life gives you lemons, go ahead and make lemonade. He was already on pit road, so he goes ahead, goes down pit road, and gets services done. They might penalize him for that, but still. Let's double check here on. 92 had to go down pit road as well after getting spun here. No big damage from the 2 drivers there. Honestly, the worst of it might have came on the front nose of Garrett Walden, who took the damage there at the end of the stage. But yeah, it's Joe Irwin with the stage win. There, got it fixed. It was showing the SCSRA ARCA series, but we're racing the Cup cars here tonight. In case anyone noticed that, we got that fixed. So, pit stops, it looks like, may have shuffled things up a little bit here. '03 of Joe Irwin goes down pit road on the next lap. Yep, right down pit road, and it looks like Colin Hoffman decided to stay out. And here's the thing with, you might as well make as many pit stops when you get the chance, because you don't know when the next opportunity will present itself. Stage end, of course, is usually a given. Now I'm slightly confused because I thought Joe Irwin got the stage win there, but I could have been wrong. It showed him ahead of the 77. Maybe it's at the time they freeze it, the field and the caution. I'm pretty sure Joe Irwin won the stage. Regardless, the actual pit stop here shuffles things up quite significantly as Josh Hall comes out with the race lead after pit stops. I got ahead of myself there. Pit stops had not happened yet. Carlton Charles in second, followed by Matt Parasini, Sharon Hill, and Garrett Walden. That's your top 5. Holden Wheeler, after going for a spin, coming down pit road. He's still in the top 10 at least. And he's right there ahead of Joe Irwin in 11th. Irwin on the apron there. That's a very common fuel save move to run on the apron like that. Don't think it's going to be that big of a concern on the fuel numbers, but never hurts to save a little bit when you have the chance to. And at some point, maybe it's just kind of hard ingrained in some of the drivers to run that apron under pace laps like this, maybe to get the tires set up right. You know, usually when they go left and right, that's to warm up the tires, getting ready for a restart. I think on the bottom, it's usually... it depends on the track, obviously, but maybe a little bit cleaner on the apron at a super speedway such as Talladega. Run down there, and of course, coast on the bottom and save fuel going the shortest distance around the racetrack. But here we go, getting doubled up for the restart. Josh Hall and Carlton Charles will reset the field here as they race towards stage 2, which will be lap 45 here, 20-lap push. looks like David Hartney got the wave around back on the lead lap here tonight. And that leaves us with all 22 cars running. Joe Irwin drops to the tail end of the field, so maybe serving a penalty at the end of stage. And that may have been, I'm not sure if that docks you the stage win or not, but, well, as far as I know, there might have been a penalty at the end of the stage there that forces him to the back like that. I don't really remember seeing anything too out of the ordinary. There was a lot of bumping and banging, a bit of side drafting, never hurts, but back at the tail end of the field, Joe Irwin, 22nd of 22 cars here tonight. Pace car getting ready to pull off here. Stage 2 is going to be underway. Josh Hall, no stranger to the front of the field at these super speedway races. He's a bit of a demon when it comes to these super speedway tracks.
Green
so
flag, green flag.
keep an eye on the 81. Always a threat when it's Talladega or Daytona in the mix. Big lead, driving that Ford away like he stole it. The only downside to getting a big advantage like that is the draft will catch up to you quicker than you would like it to. So don't want to get too far away, but it looks like the 24 Matt Parasini is going to fall right in line, give him a bit of a bump draft, and moves that momentum back into his ball court. So not much of a sitting duck after that. If you get the bump from behind, keep that lead, keep that advantage. Third in line, you have Sharon Hill, who's had a stellar season so far. Hasn't been super flashy, but he stayed consistent, stayed out of trouble for the most part. Tonight's the kind of night Sharon Hill's definitely been looking forward to, something that kind of, gives everyone that shot to run up front and fight for the win. The great equalizer at Talladega. Josh Hall holds that lead as he's getting bumped by Matt Parasini here. Separated by 3 cars, the 2 teammates there, Josh Hall and Devin Butchino for Neon Racing, both in the top 5. Well, now that outside line's working together, though, and here comes Ryan Hufford. Hufford gets a good group of cars behind him to work together. That 83 Toyota has some friends here. Now up into 4th place on the outside line, carrying that momentum around 3rd place. Here we go. Outside line looking strong here, using a little bit of the side draft with the 24, and he's hooked up with the 00 there, Brandon Anderson, as they come railing around the outside. Holden Wheeler back into the top 10 as well, that 09 machine. Running strong for Sentinel Motorsports. Him and his teammate there, Sharon Hill, in the picture. Brandon Anderson, part of, it looks like, the Beer Money Racing group. Him, Phil Ellis Jr., and AJ Evangelista working together here tonight. And here we go, Ryan Hufford gets around the outside here. Good run. Don't want to jinx it, obviously, but we brought up that he won the ARCA race last night, and that's usually the commentator's kiss of death that I even bring it up. I hope not to jinx him, but he's out here fighting to try and win back-to-back nights, which is tough to do, especially at a track like Talladega where anything can happen. Big wrecks often do happen. And here he is leading tonight. At least he can say he led a lap both nights here between ARCA and Cup. 83 using that advantage that he knows on these super speedways to his advantage here. And he quit on Brandon Anderson and Matt Bands, who helped push him to the lead. And now for Ryan Hufford, he's got some decisions to make. Is he going to try to block both lines of traffic or hold that inside line where you often want to be at the super speedways? Once you start blocking, that's where you put yourself in the danger zone. And so many times I've seen it happen. Real life NASCAR, iRacing, it doesn't matter. If you're driving through your mirror, watching the back of the field, trying to look and advance and keep them behind you, it's usually when mistakes are made. So it looks like Hufford makes the decision here to stay low and keep the advantage on that inside and let the outside line run their own race here. Look at that. Hufford's second there, but Anderson's trying to run the double line. He's blocking on the inside, jumping to the high side. Looks like the outside line's falling apart, though, minus Anderson. Not looking to be as stout as they've lost one of their fast duo there. Wow, Hufford with aggression puts his nose in there, holds it above the double yellow line. That's legal as long as you don't go below the double yellow line to make your advance there. He did just what he needed to keep the lead in his favor there at the moment. But that outside line, you're not going to stomp it out like a bug. It's going to keep coming back. Here comes Matt Bands right around the outside. Holden Wheeler helping them move to the front yet again. It's kind of crazy that we've got two of our podium here at the front of the field already tonight. Hufford and Bands both finished in the top three in the ARCA race, and they're bringing it back to the front here again tonight. Even Holden Wheeler brought it home for a top five in the ARCA race, so three of your top five right there in the top three. Lauren Vincent's still alive. I think he's playing it a little bit on the careful side right now, waiting in the background. Instead of racing hard for the stage win here, he's going to try to be there at the end and show up when it matters the most. But your leaders here, they're fighting for stage points. They're looking to try and race their way to the front and earn the stage win at lap 45. Here comes Holden Wheeler making a move on the outside, gets right ahead of Josh Hall. Whoa, slice and dice, and they're not working together very well on that outside line right now. And they're wrecking.
Flag is out.
That'll bring out our second caution for cause here tonight. Looks like Billy Titoff makes it through. We'll go ahead and check out the replay here in just a moment. Matt Bands holds the lead as they head to caution. We'll go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay and see what happened here. Ooh, that's a bit of contact there with Joe Irwin. So here we have the 23. That is Carlton Charles. Kind of a three-wide scenario there with Joe Irwin in the middle. A little bit of aggression. I don't know how bad that was, but the Titoff just barely runs into the back of Garrett Walden there as he slides back up the track into the 00 of Brandon Anderson. Going for a wild ride again here tonight. It looks like Christopher Bishop involved in this one slightly, as there's a few simultaneous wrecks going on at the same time. We'll jump back here and we'll see what other angles we can get on the wreck. But you can see up there in the top five, that yellow and black 23. Carlton Charles goes high, runs up on the outside line. Joe Irwin, it looks like he's trying to stick it down low there, and there's an opening. They're 3 wide. Oh, his car just kind of slices back up the track a little bit into the 23. And the carnage ensues at that point. Hard hit, the 00 Brandon Anderson getting pegged there by the 43. Joe Irwin comes back down the track. The 15 just trying to slide out of harm's way into the 29 of Philip Ellis. 98 also not able to get away without making contact there. That is Jay Stinson in the 98 car. 15 coming back up the track here. Just misses the 98, but that outside wall hit's going to be pretty hard. Bam! So that is our second caution for cause here tonight. That's not a stage break. And that one might be a brutal one for drivers if they are out of their quick repairs here tonight. 15 definitely has had multiple incidents here. Looks like Jay Stinson spending a lengthier trip on pit road, as is Garrett Walden and Philip Ellis in the 29. Carlton Charles, though, gets his quick repair done. Vince Brent back out there. David Hartney's gained a couple spots due to attrition, at least at the moment. Brandon Anderson, it looks like he's out of the race at the moment. And this is where I've given Lauren Vincent the nickname the Survivor this year. He has managed to masterfully keep himself out of trouble. And even like tonight, we knew that he was sitting back there. He wasn't up front trying to fight for the win. He knew, you know, these super speedway races, it's probably the best bet to just kind of play it safe, wait it out. Well, he's doing just that. Even though the wreck happened in his neck of the woods, he was able to steer clear of it and minimize contact, minimize damage here tonight. And that's, you know, one less driver having to go down pit road to get their quick repair used up. So he's about halfway through the race here already and has one in the pocket. That 07, just a silent assassin, survives the race and finds himself in a good finish time and time again. They're getting ready. They're doubled up, it looks like, for the restart here. The rest of the field looks like they're going to get back out right ahead of the pace car, just barely. Christopher Bishop tail into the field in 21st, Garrett Walden in 20th, Philip Ellis in 19th. They all stay on the lead lap, luckily. So no other drivers fall a lap down here as we're getting ready for the restart here. Matt Baines, Holden Wheeler, Josh Hall, Ryan Hufford, and Matt Parasini. Quite the killer pack of drivers leading the field here tonight. Joe Irwin, since restarting the stage in 22nd, has worked his way back up to 8th here. Sharn Hill in the top 5. Top 10, still right there around the top 5. But we'll get to see what Holden Wheeler's got on a restart here up at the front of the field. Has the inside line this time as Matt Baines opted for the outside. Pace car pulls off. And drivers are going to get another fair shake here on a restart.
Green, green, green.
We're not even halfway yet, so there's still plenty of racing in the books here tonight. Here we got Josh Hall back up into second there, right on the back bumper of Matt Vance. Holden Wheeler third on that inside line. That outside line coming together. Here comes Ryan Hufford with a push from Matt Parasini and Billy Titoff. 79 at Titoff just cruising here tonight, staying out of the big ones. And here he is now into the top 5 for the first time here tonight, working with the points leader, Matt Parasini, drafting to the front of the field. Ooh, he's going to quit the 24, Parasini almost there. They fall back in line. He's bumping. He's trying to look high, trying to look low, trying to look high again. Parasini under attack, and this is for the stage, you know, up at the end of the stage. Parasini finds himself in the lead group here once again at the end of the stage, trying to rack up those bonus points. But the problem with Titoff jumping up and down and they're not working together here, that's cost them a little bit of time here as he's dropping them backwards. And the sooner they get glued back together, the sooner they can start working back to the front. Parasini, Titoff both drop him. But all it takes is a little bit and they get back into this. Here we go. Good run on the outside. Parasini stretching those legs and trying to run back up there. This time by, it's going to be 5 laps left in the stage. Lauren Vincent really is playing the safety game here tonight. Back to 14th, just kind of minding, oh, actually, my bad, 17th, just minding his P's and Q's. Very, very back of this lead group here. Still within the lead draft, but you can kind of pick your destiny in the background there. If they start wrecking ahead of you, it gives you a little bit of time. But sometimes there's just not enough to make a move around a wreck when it happens that far back. Whoa, 3 wide for about 10th place there. Parasini gets shuffled way up. And they are all over the place back there. A lot of 3 wide at the back half of the field here. Single file for the top 3 and then 2 wide for the mid pack. Joe Irwin jumps to the outside with some drafting help from Holden Wheeler. Definitely a deadly duo there. They've all settled in. No wider than 2 throughout the field here. 3 wide has kind of died down at the moment. Well, the comparison to Hocevar might not be too far off. We did have a Michigan-born driver in Hufford win the race last night. Of course, Hufford's at the front here again tonight. It's definitely a field with a lot of aggression here, so it's anyone's pick as to who encapsulates that spirit of Carson Hocevar here in the SCSRA Cup Series. Definitely could be one of 20 drivers on the track here. Matt Band's doing a stellar job defending the lines of traffic behind him. Here comes Billy Titoff, and we are only 2 laps left of the stage here. So could Billy Titoff steal some stage points? He is not in the championship conversation as he has missed multiple races this season, kind of picking and choosing the runs he makes. And tonight, one of those tracks that just about anyone would pick to run at. Billy Titoff had a good run there, but falls back to 6th. Needs to build that momentum back up as they're going to see one more lap left in the stage here. They might start wrecking before the stage end. Be best to mind your P's and Q's here and not wreck half the field. Billy Titoff 5th in line with Charles right ahead of him. And I believe that might be the 77. Yep, that is 77 of Colin Hoffman in the mix as well. Lights are blinking on pit road. That means pit road is closed, as we are now white flag in the stage. One more lap to go for the green-white checkered flag. The bonus points that hang in the balance. Matt Bands, Holden Wheeler. Whoa, Charles goes for a wild ride. They all collect it. They keep rolling here. At that point, you're not fighting for a stage win. It's best to just lay off and let it, ride in the back here. Bands, Wheeler, and here goes another wild ride. They're going to wreck the other half of the field there. Stage winner, it is going to go to, as the caution ends the stage here, Matt Bands takes the stage win here for the second stage here tonight. Lap 45 in the books. Bonus points to Matt Bands. We take a quick glance at the overall point standings. It's going to help Bands' situation significantly as he's 4 points back of Holden Wheeler and about 39 points back of Walden and 41 points back of the points leader, Parasini. He's the only guy in the top 4 without a win. I guess Chardon Hill's in the top 5 without a win as well, but could change that all here tonight. Let's look at the wreck that just happened here. Get a replay dialed up. There's a lot going on at the end of the stage here, and I think the common denominator here is Joe Irwin going for a wild ride, taking out half the field at the back here. Joe Irwin's aggression is definitely polarizing, to say, as some drivers may not appreciate the hard racing. He was on the inside line there, and it's hard to say. It's just Talladega is Talladega after all. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. Yeah, he drives down. He gets into the bottom lane, but at that point, it's a race for the stage, and I don't know if he needed to be that aggressive here at the end of the stage. Takes the 77 for a spin. They would have been fighting for 4th place there. But what happens here is Joe Irwin comes right back up the track, collects Matt Parasini. Woofty. The 43 of Garrett Walden, the 16 of Hartney, who's already had to use quick repair here tonight. 68 of Devin Butchino involved in the wreck. So there might be choice words Some drivers here tonight not digging the aggression. Be different if that was the last lap of the race, but this was for stage 2, so. And I'm assuming there's going to be some drivers that may be out for the race, maybe even with the damages sustained here. Wow, look at that crash avoidance skill on top display yet again by Lauren Vincent. Let's get back to that replay one more time. And let's jump on the in-car cam here of Lauren Vincent. How amazing is that? Well, we made it through halfway here tonight. New race leader under pit stops. It looks like Jay Stinson to the top spot here. Him and I believe his teammate, they're both racing for Royalty. Royalty Motorsports, I believe, is the team. And yeah, they're up front here. It used to be Royalty Racing. I might be off here, but it didn't. And that's where we're going to restart. The two teammates here at the front of the field. No, they're not teammates because one's in a Toyota, one's in a Camaro. So situations have maybe changed a little bit in the team order from last year, season 11. So I apologize. I'm trying to pick up. I don't see whose team the 98's racing for here tonight. Maybe a solo privateer performance. I appreciate that insight there, Jesse. Definitely, it's hard to place blame. I am just trying to play the most unbiased approach here, and it's sucks for Joe Irwin always getting in those situations. It's not. It's like a magnet for the drama, and it's just tough once you have put yourself out there as the aggressive type. When something like that happens, I mean, it seems to follow you no matter where you go. So yeah, no, Joe Irwin definitely didn't do much of anything wrong there. Aggressive for stage racing, but yeah, it's one of those racing deals. It's just racing, good hard racing. And if we were out here just letting everyone ride ahead of you without putting up much of a fight, it wouldn't be that entertaining. So Joe Irwin gets the award for most entertaining. Mr. Excitement. I know Jimmy Spencer used to have that nickname, but Joe Irwin kind of fits that mold here as well. Kind of in the same manner of being a bit on the polarizing side, but he gets the job done when it matters the most, fighting for the race wins. So might be on the wrecker more times than Victory Lane this year, but puts it all together. He's a threat. Here we got Jay Stinson setting the field for the restart. Matt Bands falls in line right behind him. And no, Holden Wheeler gets taken out by Titoff there. Hard way to start the final stage here tonight. Holden Wheeler, man, I don't think he did anything wrong there. This will be an easy replay as all we got to go back is one lap here. Man. Good old Talladega. He's there on the bottom. And he's on the line, so, man, I don't know, Billy Titoff looked like he kind of came down into him there. The 09 couldn't give him any more room. The 79 unfortunately just drives in a little too hard there. Also getting a bit of it, a piece of that was Vince Brent. Oh, and that's, I think, was the deal. He was trying to follow the draft of the 72, Matt Bands. That angle definitely does a better perspective of it all. As he's following the 72, he wants to keep that draft. Well, there wasn't an opening underneath him. That was where the 09 was sitting. Vince Brent gets a hard hit there. And I want to say the 29 also made some contact of Philip Ellis. Yeah, it's the 29. Where is it? Yep, 29. Wow, what a save by the 29. He clips the outside wall, but was able to avoid making a hard contact with Holden Wheeler there. They're leaving it all out on the line here tonight. There might be some unhappy folks at the end of Talladega, as you know, one would expect here. They might party fiercely on the infields, but the racing on track can get pretty heated sometimes. We've got some takers on pit road here, and this might be a good, staged pit stop here to help set them up for the fuel run at the end here. We knew that fuel could be on a bit of a concern here. 37 laps to go. 37 is going to be still a lengthy run no matter what, but looks like Hufford is going to get off pit road ahead of Billy Titoff, Lauren Vincent, Garrett Walden, David Hartney, Devin Butchino, Philip Ellis, Vince Brent, Holden Wheeler spending some extra time on pit road, Carlton Charles, Matt Parasini. There you got Joe Irwin, the tail of pit road there. Not sure if he's out for the race or what. I know that if you have to claim 2 incidents, you are out of the race for the evening, so it's hard to say. I think he could have claimed at least 1, maybe both of the last 2 incidents he was involved in, but Holden Wheeler staying on pit road here. It looks like Parasini comes back out. Joe Irwin not stage 2 purgatory on pit road. He's coming back out in 20th here. At this point, if there is any damage on those cars, they may be holding on pit road to get as much damage repaired if they're out of their quick repairs. So Holden Wheeler might be at risk of falling a lap down here if he's not able to rejoin soon here. Wow, they're pitting again. This ain't too out of the ordinary to make 2 pit stops to try and, tap it off. Come in 1 lap. I mean, 2.5 plus miles here at Talladega. That was, that was some extra fuel burnt. Might as well, while we're under caution, come back down and get just a little bit of tapped off. Hufford back out, Garrett Walden, David Hartney, and the like. Like I mentioned before, track position not really that big of a factor here. You'll get back at the draft. You'll start dancing and moving your way up to the front again anyways. So 36 laps, still a lot of racing to go here. Jay Stinson and Matt Bands will reset the field here. Hey, welcome in. I got Brandon Butler in the booth here. You copy?
Yeah. I was gonna wait to see how long it took you to realize that I was in here through that, or I was just gonna start talking.
How long have you been in here? I'm sorry. I was like not looking
Like,
over.
Maybe 2 minutes.
Well, welcome aboard. I know. I don't know if you've been following the action. You're definitely a lot underway here at Talladega.
Yeah. I honestly forgot what day it was, so my apologies for my late entrance to the booth, but I missed my flight. That's why I wasn't in the booth today earlier.
Glad to have you. We're getting settled in for the restart here at lap 53.
Hopefully I'll be here to watch. I'm currently tuned in with the stream right now. Hopefully I'll be tuned in to watch through my monitors here in the next few seconds.
Matt Bands and Jay Stinson heading to the line here. Get ready for the restart. And he also got Sharon Hill and Evangelista next row back.
Green, green, green.
Craig Schroeder and Ryan Gomes 5th and 6th. And we're back and rolling here from Talladega. Those drivers definitely got all the extra fuel in the tank that they could. Your top 8 did not pit, though. They stayed out. They're not too worried about cautions factoring in throughout the last 35 laps here tonight. So
it's good to see that 0-5 running up front after the week they had last week at Dover. Rough race.
for sure, yeah. No, he's making up for it here tonight. One of the handful of drivers that's run the double duty with the ARCA race last night and the Cup race here tonight, and here he is going to the lead. AJ Evangelista. First lap led here tonight.
So fill me in on how the actions went so far. Has there been one dominant driver, or has it been a lot of people swapping the lead back?
Oh, it's been all over the board here tonight. We had, I would like to say Joe Irwin won stage 1, but it was hard to say. I don't know if he got penalized there at the end. And then Matt Baines won stage 2. And we've definitely seen some heavy hitters up the front all night. Very heavy on the super speedway stars. Matt Bain and Josh Hall have been up there fighting for it. We've seen Joe Irwin do the normal Joe Irwin things, drop to the back, charge to the front, and drop to the back again. And I must say, there's been some gnarly wrecks and some great avoidance by some key drivers here tonight. It's wide open as to who's going to take the win here.
Absolutely, as it always is. You know, Talladega being such a wild card, but it's kind of these guys better be thinking they're lucky stars that this isn't this race isn't in the chase.
For sure, yeah. With just 2 races left here in the regular season tonight, and Charlotte marking off the end of the season.
Oh, we got one wrecking down the backstretch.
Looks like we're going to stay green, but David Hartney goes for a bit of a wild spin there.
All right, the front stretch. My bad.
Let's see real quick. Involved with, it looks like the 83 of Brian Hufford. Yeah, just slides down in front of Hufford, saves it. Comes back up the track. Hufford
has absolutely lost the draft.
Huffer had the race win last night in the ARCA race here at Talladega, and trying to back it up here with another good run tonight. Billy Titoff slid right down in front of him, just like we saw David Hartney the lap before. So they're jockeying for position, trying to find the open track and take it where they can.
Now, there does seem to be more cars in that inside line, but the outside group is much more formed up. I think that's why they're able to stay side by side with those guys.
Definitely, yeah. It's a lot tighter, a lot more organized. And of course, Holden Wheeler, the Daytona winner from the start of the season here, he's back up front trying to fight for another super speedway win.
Last week's winner putting on a clinic here over at the front. Looks like he's trying to control both lanes.
We've seen where
the 05 is going to be there.
Control in both lanes can be destructive. It's hard to pull off, and often, you know, 2 lanes of speed. If you can do it masterfully, it's tough. But yeah, it's definitely it's a risky gamble sometimes.
Well, it looks like he's got quite a bit of nose damage there, and that might be a little difficult. He might be hurting a little bit on the aero side. As we see, it looks like the 29 and the 15 jump up to the outside to maybe try to create a third lane there.
We've seen 4 wide a couple times here tonight, and I'm surprised we haven't had many more big ones. But what few wrecks we have had, we had quite the cast of characters involved in wrecks here tonight. Looks like the quick repairs are keeping them in the show, though.
I mean, as we come down here to, I believe 20 laps to go now, it's gonna get quite dicey here. People are gonna get a little bit more racy as we see contact with the 43 and the 15 in the middle of the pack.
All the way on the bottom, just settling back in to go all the way back there. That is Jay Stinson, who is up front for the restart here.
He probably saw some things getting quite squirrely and decided, I don't want to be involved in this crash.
Bands and Wheeler up at the front here. Evangelista and even Colin Hoffman with Josh Hall. Your points leader, Matt Pericini, working his way back up into the top 10 here. The very, very tail of, we got
09 just made a crazy block on the 77, it looks like. Or not necessarily crazy, but definitely an aggressive block to the outside there. He definitely looks like he favors that outside lane a little bit.
And Matt Bands takes the top spot here for now. We've seen him lead quite a few circuits here tonight, and he's adding to that tally.
He better be careful. He got out to quite a lead.
Pits right across the front nose of the 09, and they're both, whoa, slicing and dicing.
Oh. It's like the 77 and the 05 made contact there in the 1. Very, very fortunate that wasn't something a little bit bigger.
That was, yeah, a bit of a hip check there, and surprisingly, everyone gets through unscathed. Sharn Hill now up to 4th.
It scares me to see these guys get out to like a crazy 4 or 5 car length lead, because you know they're just going to be swallowed back up by the pack should somebody decide to jump out of line.
Here we go, the 09 giving the 72 a good bump there. They're kind of getting themselves separated from the 05 of Evangelista, though. And here comes that outside momentum. Good pusher in the 81. "24 laps left to go here tonight." I mean, even with the few cautions, we've had about 4 cautions for actual wrecks not related to the stage breaks here tonight. everyone's been racing very, very clean. I mean, a little bit over the top aggressive at times, especially towards the end of the stages. I mean, a couple of those stage cautions were for cause of actual wrecks. So we ended up under caution for one of the stages here tonight, if I remember correctly, for sure.
The 81 looks like he's going to go to the lead here. Looks like he's going to get some help from Parasini, that outside lane. Did hear over the radio chatter that the 81's running hot. Oh, and the 15 sideways, not out of 2.
Looks like heading to caution here. It's going to be Matt Baines, Colin Hoffman, Josh Hall, Holden Wheeler, and Matt Parasini, your top 5. And we'll go ahead and dial up the replay here to see how this caution came into play here. So
it looks like the 15 might have just tried to tuck back in line, and the closing rate on the 29 was just too quick for the 15 and spun him to the inside.
And this was about 10th on back here, 29 of
They're
Phillip
talking
Ellis.
about on the radio, it might have been intentional, is what the 15's saying. He's getting reported for intentional wrecking.
And yeah, comes back down the track in front of the 65 there. Craig Schroeder nowhere to go. The 55, Ryan Gomes nowhere to go. Billy Titoff had to let up a little bit there, got through the smoke, and I think his car may be fine, but definitely the 55 Gomes hard hit on the inside wall. And the 15 of Christopher Bishop.
Sounds like timbers are getting a little hot here. The 15 said something about it felt intentional, and it definitely wasn't. Looking at the replay that you showed on the broadcast, was not intentional.
We've definitely had some close calls here tonight. A couple occasions where the aggression got over the top, and each caution tonight, it's hard to say. You know, it is Talladega after all. These cars, sometimes they've got a spotter in their ear, but 9 times out of 10, these iRacers are doing it from the seat of their pants. And here we go, pit stops. This will get everyone right to the finish line. No concerns about fuel mileage here tonight. We will run to the finish on the fuel window that they've got left in the race.
There's no doubt in my mind that this isn't the last caution.
Oh, for sure. Definitely not. We're and hopefully not too late in the race where green-white checkers come into play, as that could throw a wrench in their plans with their fuel window. 25 laps is comfortable for maybe a green flag, green-white checkered restart, but too many more after that could get touch and go. And at that point, you don't want to come down pit road at the green-white checkered stage of the race, because you've got the track position, and with only a 3-lap shootout each time, you don't want to give up that very important track position.
Well, the good thing with iRacing's coding is after the white flag, there are no cautions, unless something's changed here recently.
Right. Yeah, so they can race back to the line, which is like the old school way, and it's kind of what NASCAR has tried to shift towards. Although there's some times where you can't hold on for too long. You got to throw that caution if someone's sitting right on the start finish line, impeding the finish of the race. But
in a dangerous spot, no less.
That's the nice thing about iRacing, is no one's life is on the line, so we're solid.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy sim rigs that the crashes and those things, they look like they might hurt a little bit.
Yeah, the force feedback and stuff, it gets pretty cool actually. I mean, feels like you're in the actual race car.
Absolutely. And not only that, but some of the hydraulic motion rigs those are kind of crazy.
If only I had had a room to put one together, I would definitely work towards something like that.
I tell you, if you had one of those, I think I'd move to wherever you're at and I'd stay with you because you wouldn't be able to get me out of that thing. So yeah, I know I'm just joining the stream, and I do apologize for joining so late. I honestly did really forget what day it was. But,
I lose track of the time too, and I put my blinders on until it's stream time sometimes, and I forget too. So I apologize. I should have given a little bit more heads up. That way you weren't jumping in later than this. So I apologize too. That's on me.
Actually, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I went to pop up something to watch on YouTube before as I was going to sleep, and I was like, holy crap, it's Talladega night, which means I didn't get to run the race like I wanted to, and I wasn't in the booth for the broadcast.
Hey, at least it's a long race, so you were able to hop in here in the second half. You didn't miss. You only missed a half of it, so it's like, yeah, you got some borrowed time here because of the length of this race. So, well, 23 laps to go. This is when it gets really wild, really crazy at the end of these things.
Tell you, these guys, if they keep running caution laps, we might have to shorten the race due to darkness. I'm sure it's starting to get a little dark there. Sometime.
See,
almost 6:30 sometime.
I think the next investment NASCAR needs is to put lights at Talladega so we can have a true Talladega Nights event. I mean, imagine the ticket sales for Talladega night race. That would be, yeah. I mean, Daytona, we already have Daytona that runs into the nighttime. Talladega, yeah, it might be a little cold, but it would be worth it. I think it would sell out.
Throw the races in the middle of the summer.
Yep. Yeah, the first.
Back to back.
Make the first one a summer race, and then do the October race like they always do. It seems to be fitting, having it in October.
Nighttime summer race.
Green flag.
There we go. We're back and rolling here.
72 got a pretty good launch there.
And we've got the super speedway stars up front now. Josh Hall's always good. Matt Band's always good. And last night's winner, Ryan Hufford, back in the mix as well. So for those drivers that have been kind of riding at the back, this is the time. This is where you got to dial it in and start working your way up front again.
It's go time for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely the time is now, and you don't want to sit in the back and wait for it to come to you because you got to grab it while you can.
Yep, you got to grab it while it's hot because if you let it cool, the opportunity is going to pass you by.
And I know interviewing Lauren Vincent last night, he felt like he was a little bit too reserved at the finish of the race. Hard to say because I thought he was running a hot race at the end of it last night, and you got these split-second decisions. Yeah, maybe you could have made a move to cut across someone else for the race win, but I think there's got to be that give and take. You might be aggressive, or you might be better off to take it easy and try to salvage a second place rather than wrecking the car going for the win. So it's hard to say. Yeah, you might have to play Monday morning quarterback and look at it in that perspective at the end of the race. It's like, man,
7 just jumped out of line.
I had to jinx him.
He might have got loose there on the
I was bringing him up.
I think he jumped out of line on his own. He might have saw something he didn't like up there. Which, I mean, you still got 20 laps to make something happen. Anything can happen in 20 laps, let alone one lap, so.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, for all he knows, the entire field can crash here off of 2, and all he has to do is cruise on by, and he secures the victory.
Man, last night's ARCA finish was wild. We saw the leaders almost wrecked. They got into each other, And Netcode decided that they'd keep the cars running straight, even though the two cars basically clipped through each other in the broadcast side of things. And then it was 4 wide for the lead, and all these other drivers with the momentum. The two that wrecked obviously lost all that momentum, and everyone from behind started storming the front of the field. We might see another wild finish like that again here tonight.
Since I've been up in the booth, that '09 has been in the top 3 cars the entire time, and so I believe the 72 also has been up in the top 5 for the last 15-20 laps while I've been in the booth. And I mean, I like those guys seem to be controlling the race right now with absolute certainty. So I would look for those two guys to be right there at the finish, barring any mishaps up front.
Well, and even the 09, like you were mentioning, has a little bit of damage on that front nose. He's been through the cautions here tonight, slightly mixing it up through the wrecks and through the carnage, but keeping it clean enough to run fast laps and, like you said, controlling this race with Matt Baines there. Vince Brent up to 3rd, and Ryan Hufford back to 4th. Might be kind of single file follow the leader for 17 laps. You never know. I mean, might as well take it easy right now. You don't want to push the envelope fighting for lap 60 of 88 here.
Yeah, I mean, with lap times reaching about 49 seconds a lap, with what the leaders are running, it's about 20 minutes is what you got. 20 minutes of seat time, no cautions. So I mean, you got plenty of time to just ride. These guys need to think about that instead of trying to put themselves in position for the end of the race, because that's just going to cause wrecks. We see people going 3 wide here in the back of the pack. Looks like that's 0-3. Not surprising there.
Getting that outside line. Look at Lauren Vincent on the outside as well. If they can get stuck together here, they could be a threat on the high side, but it's gonna take more than 3 cars working together to make this work.
Yeah, they need to put themselves, if they're gonna make that outside line work, that middle lane they need to check up and get the middle lane. Oh, I see some contact through the tri-oval there between the 03, looks like, and that whatever number that yellow Toyota is, I believe it's the 23. The 03 and the 23 make contact through the tri-oval.
Oh, and there's a little bit of contact again there, nearly 4 wide. Not quite, but almost there. Here comes Devin Butchino on the low side. And now the lead has broken up here as the outside line has materialized. Vince Brent taking the top spot.
92 goes to the lead. Wow. That was kind of a crazy move. It looks like 3rd on back just jumped out in front of those guys. I mean, that's probably a good idea for those guys to do, to get those guys out of the lead, get them out of control of this race.
Well, now you got Cypress Academy in control of this race with Vince Brent. Oh, they're wrecking.
The yellow flag is out.
We'll dial up the replay here shortly. I was going to finish the statement I was making there. You got the trio of teammates there, the 92 of Vince Brent, the 24 of Matt Perezzini, and the 43 of Garrett Walden. But that has all gone out the door as we're under caution yet again here tonight.
That was quite a big wreck. Quite a hard hit for, it looks like the 5 was involved there. It looks like he got turned off the nose of the 38.
So the 79, that's Billy Titoff. He's on the inside line here. And you've also got the 98. That is Jay Stinson. Stinson gets right up into the back bumper.
Ooh, 81's involved in that too. Looked like the 81 got clipped from that. I don't know if he was able to keep it straight from the camera angle I was looking at, but or the 81, I mean.
Yep, right here coming in. He tries to avoid the wreck. Goes for a bit
Looks
of...
like he just got clipped just a little bit. I think he's going to be okay, though. But that a hard hit. A hard hit for the 5. An absolute hard hit. He had to... Hey, that thing's going to be on the wrecker back to the pit lane.
Dial up a separate camera angle here showing we're going to go at full pace. Yeah, 79 gets turned into the 5 there of Sharn Hill. Billy Titoff had a good race going here tonight, but that's going to be a hard one to come back from. And the 5 of Sharn Hill.
He had absolutely nowhere to go.
Sharn Hill.
From the gyro cam, the 79 just gets turned across the nose.
Sharn Hill had to get the tow truck
like
back.
A checkup from the looks like the inside line checked up and the 79 checked up and the 98 didn't really have anywhere to go either.
Well, I guess the 79 at Titoff has at least a quick repair in his pocket here. I got that fixed pretty quickly, so he's back out there. I'm not certain how many quick repairs they actually have here tonight. It's about where I was last night, and I lost the broadcast, but yeah, last night I actually had to do a full internet switch. I had to swap to my hotline on my phone, and I don't think we got that problem here tonight. Comment section for sure. Yeah, Talladega Boulevard would be wild if the race was at night. I can only imagine the stories of it after hours, after dark.
It is already crazy. It is already crazy at night, let alone there being a race going on.
Yeah, no, that's one of the tracks on my bucket list now. After seeing all the festivities at Talladega, I mean, it doesn't matter what year, doesn't matter if it's the spring race or the fall race. Talladega's got it all. It's got, you know, quite the festive atmosphere. Kind of like the same reason I would love to go to the Indianapolis 500 someday. I'd go for not quite the party scene, but more.
I mean, the worst comes to worst,
I've got backups in place, so. Alrighty, so 12 laps will be the distance here at the restart. Kind of got what you got here. You got to make the most of it.
Yep, you got to run what you got. I mean, the 09 and the 72 are still nose to tail. Those guys, I think, from what I've seen, have been a really good pushy combo. So I would be looking for one of those guys to be.
Well, then we have Ryan Hufford here. Like I've been mentioning, the ARC winner from last night. A very rare opportunity to do double duty and potentially be in position to win both of them. Don't count out Ryan Hufford. He knows how to get the job done here tonight. AJ Evangelista right there, and your points leader, Matt Parasini, as well.
Green flag, green flag.
Inside did not get a very good start, but that's not a bad deal because that means the draft gets together a little bit quicker here. Vince Brent cuts down in front of them. Yep. Outside is kind of destabilized. You got a solid single file line down low here of 4 cars, maybe even 5 cars before that outside line starts to come into picture there.
Oh, and they're already 3 wide with Hartney in the 80, Hartney in the 16, and whoever's in the 81. I haven't learned all the names yet.
Josh Hall, yep, on the high side in the 81. But it's about a 6-car breakaway on the inside line here. Like you were mentioning, the 09 and 72, definitely a deadly duo there. They're still hooked up, but the lead trio way ahead of them. They're wrecking. Stay straight. We keep it green. 15 gets the worst of it there. Christopher Bishop and Josh Hall both out of the lead draft now. And now we can count the laps left on 2 hands here shortly. As they come by, that'll be 10 laps to go this time around. amazing how they're single file all the way through the top 10. Joe Irwin.
That's something you don't see a whole lot of.
Especially at 10 laps to go, you don't see it very often at all.
Oh, somebody's about to get a run, and they're going to go right to the front.
Your lead three have been working together here, keeping the advantage in their favor. But I wouldn't look too much further back than 4th, 5th, as that inside line may decide to swap it up here and go to the high side.
As we got the 05 and the 29 looking high right now. Lone cars out there.
Looks like they actually cut back down on the inside. They tried, they thought, and then they didn't see anyone else going with them. So valiant effort. Got to give them A for effort. Here we go.
He needs about 3 cars. Looks like the 77 is going to jump high with those guys.
And your lead 7 or so, lead 8, they're getting bunched back up like a slinky.
They're gonna need a few more than 3. Maybe I think 5 could maybe start to give them some progress. But they're here in about a lap or 2. They're gonna start seeing people go high. Looks like the I don't believe that's 03. The 98's gonna look high. The 55 and 79 they're going high as well.
Yeah, they're getting around. They're getting up to 8th here on the high side. That's Billy Titoff in the 79.
Who was just involved in that big crash.
Got the quick repair. Was able to salvage his run here tonight. Back up in
I'd look for that 09 and I'd look for that 09 and 72 to jump high though when that outside lane gets to him. They've got about 1 car in between them.
There you go. The magic number was 5, like you were saying. Here they are on the outside line, but only 8 laps left to go. They're kind of jumping around like a hot potato. It's hard to get established, and there you go. You called the shot. The 09 goes to the high side here. You've been watching.
Oh, he shucked out of line.
Woo!
He's going to go to the back.
Tough break for Holden Wheeler. He tried to do the best he could, but Matt Bain's still able. Whoa, Billy Titoff is.
Contact.
Oh,
they're wrecking in the back. That's the 09, the 05, and it looks like the 77 involved in that.
Well, it always gets wild and crazy at the end of these races. And we're going to have another restart here tonight to really get a feel for it.
With it coming to, I think, about 6 laps to go, I think we might have a natural green-white checkered here. I think we might restart with 3 to go.
Right at regulation, it would look like. So let's see what brings out our caution at the end of this run. Looks like the 09 is on the high side there of Stinson. 3 wide, you got Joe Irwin on the low side here. Holden Wheeler 3 wide with the 77 of Colin Hoffman. It looks like ran out of real estate into the 77 there. Hoffman gets turned into the outside wall.
I mean, that all started when he got shucked out of the line by the 79. It's not the 79's fault. Obviously, he was way ahead of the pack. It looks like the 77 might have come up a little bit, but
hard wreck there for Evangelista, just out in the wrong place at the wrong time here.
Oh no, I think the 09 spotter might have called him clear because he come down the track like there wasn't anybody there.
Wow, hard hit.
Or maybe he was trying to side draft and get a lane broken up. I'm not entirely sure what that was, but I'm sure just a mistake on the driver's part. Maybe the spotter called him clear a little too early.
Man, you look at the steering wheel, he's got it kind of hanging true right, so it might be one of those it kind of gets the air off balance. You can see his red line is kind of off to the right. I know that they're typically a little bit skewed, but it wasn't like the steering input was pushed to the left here. So,
I mean, it might have been netcode that drew him into the 77. That's something that I've seen happen so many times on the track, where it kind of just, the netcode, it might have thought his car was a little farther to the left than it was, and it drew the 70s. It drew them together like it does on iRacing, and then the crash happens from there.
yeah, let's see the 3 lines here. Yeah, I mean, I think he was committed, and it wasn't really clear if there was going to be a lane there for him to go. And after committing, kind of the car got straightened out there, and lanes just narrowed up quickly. And that's what's deceiving. If you're looking, he's staying true to the right side of the track, and the 77's staying true to the mid side. The lines kind of tell the story here. Yeah,
It kind of looks like they just, like the 09's coming down a little bit, and then it looks like the 77 is just moving up to the top of that lane. Is really what it looks like from my vantage point. I'm watching from the far chase cam, and it looks like they just come together. I think that might just be a racing incident with bad judgment, you know.
Well,
maybe on both drivers' parts.
Colin, Christopher, Holden, and AJ are currently on pit road, and we'll see if they're able to rejoin the racetrack here. But Holden Wheeler's definitely had his fair share of damage here tonight. Christopher Bishop has been through the ringer, and Colin Hoffman also. So 15 cars left out on the lead lap for now. Someone's going to come out.
I'll tell you who to look at, though, is that 29 car. That 29 car is just about clean. A little bit of right front damage, but...
It doesn't matter where you restart here with 3 laps to go. I mean, you can still make something happen from 15th. Even 16th, Colin Hoffman comes back out on track, stays on the lead lap here. Especially as wild as the restarts have been here, you're not out of the woods until that white flag is in the air. Christopher Bishop's
Absolutely. You're not really out of the woods until you cross the checkered.
Right, yeah.
Anything can happen. I mean, unless the field wrecks behind you, you have to be white knuckled the entirety of the race.
So we'll get a restart
Looks like
with
the 92 is going to pick the outside here.
3 laps to go. Right at about.
A little under.
Hufford on the inside. Then it's a it's a trio yet again of Cypress Academy with Vince Brent, Parasini, and Walden in the top 4 there.
Said that the 92 and the 24 are both part of Cypress Academy?
Correct, yes.
If I was a 92, I think I probably would have chose my teammate.
Well, he's got the 43 as his teammate as well, so he could have picked either lane. Yeah, he got Walden and Parasini behind, so if he lines up, he's got a teammate no matter what at this point. Not as fortunate for Ryan Hufford there, who's kind of the lone soldier at the front of the field here.
Do you think they're going to try to give these guys the okie doke and try to split them, put them Cypress Academy 1, 2, 3 in one lane?
Possibly. I mean, it's all, the gloves are off. Who knows what's going to happen on the restart here. And it helps having teammates in a situation like this, helps to have a little bit of friends in the mix here. I feel like the 24 will probably work with the 83 up until the last lap here, though. He's a pretty chill driver. I don't think he would do anything too extra here, but we'll see.
Green flag, green flag.
And there you go. Off and rolling. Billy Titoff on the high side, third in line, outside lane. Your two leaders drop down in front of the 83 of Hufford.
And they gave him the okie doke.
Just a little bit. Look at
Just
that.
a little bit of an okie doke.
Two of your top two finishers from last night are in the top five yet again. Hufford in third.
79.
Outside line could work again here, though. Keep your eyes on that outside line.
And look at the push from Ryan Gomes and Devin Butchino.
Neon Racing.
He went from fifth all the way up. He's just about side by side with the leader.
Well, and that's your total team control there. The 68 and the 55, those are teammates. That is Neon Racing working with the lone soldier there, the 79 of Titoff, as he takes the lead here with 2 laps to go. Billy Titoff to the top spot. But now he's got 2 teams apiece. He's got Cypress Academy on the inside, and he's got Neon Racing on the outside. Neither of them are going to want to work with Titoff, so he is in a serious Carson Hocevar situation here. No friends up at the front of the field.
He's trying to side draft that 92, bring him back a little bit, not letting him get out front.
They're working together as well as they can, even though they're not teammates here. Billy Titoff putting on a good showing. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. We're going to end it under regulation at this point. 88 laps the distance. Oh, and they're wrecking.
Into 1.
Billy Titoff.
The 79's going to hold the lead. He jumps up in front of Devin Butchino. The 92 holds on to it. He straightens it out.
Here we go, and it's...
But the 79 is an absolute sitting duck. They are 4 wide behind him.
We might see the 07 Daytona 500 rear its head again. Could be a photo finish at the line, or it could be a wreck waiting to happen in the background. Here we go. Couple lines
Tell you,
left.
if the 55 and 68 are going to do anything, they need to jump out now.
Coming down the front stretch, Billy Titoff has the advantage. He's going to try to block
There
all
goes
lines.
the 68.
55's got the inside line. Billy Titoff's running on the inside, but the 68 of Devin Butchino
going to break it all.
gets the win here tonight.
Wow,
Billy.
what a finish.
Billy Titoff was able to hold on for third there. And Garrett Walden brings it home second. Matt Parasini, your points leader, bringing it home fourth. Ryan Gomes, fifth. Man, the team tactics showed here tonight. Devin Butchino and Gomes earned it here. And, wow, what a wild finish. You didn't know who was going to get the job done right until the last lap there. And
What
tonight,
an absolutely wild finish.
Butchino gets yet another win to his name here in the SCSRA. He's the namesake of the whole series. He gets a win in the memorial of his mom, season 12 here, Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series. Man, that's got to be a feel-good win here tonight, getting the job done at Talladega.
Absolutely, got to be a very emotional win every time he steps in the victory lane here.
So we're waiting. Here we go. The podium, the traditional podium photo op there with your 3 drivers that finished top 3 here tonight. Billy Titoff, third. Garrett Walden, second. And Devin Butchino is going to burn it down. Well, actually, do the Polish victory lap here, akin to Alan Kulwicki. We actually saw similar tribute here just a couple weeks ago at Talladega when Carson Hocevar won. He ran it good old-fashioned Alan Kulwicki style and then did the unthinkable by riding the Dente. I can't really do that in iRacing, but Devin Butchino is soaking it in right now. coming down the backstretch. Hearing the roar of the crowd as he comes around the track here. Waving to each and every fan in the stands, paid for their seat here tonight. What a, he might as well just run the whole track, a whole lap in reverse here. We'll keep the camera rolling on him. Like you said, it's got to be a emotional win. It's got to be a feel-good win. It's the Dev Sports Cards SCSRA Cup Series race after all, so he is primary sponsor of the series last couple years. I've been covering it here. So for those of you that are watching and you got sports cards, collector memorabilia and stuff, check out Devin Butchino's eBay page, the Dev's Sports Cards. Keep an eye on any of the cards he's got up for sale over there on eBay. I myself have been akin to collecting baseball cards. I'm sure he's got baseball cards up there on his storefront. Probably a good selection of NASCAR collector cards as well. So give it a check if you haven't already. Check it up on eBay. Dev Sports Cards. Should be pretty easy to find. And here he is, halfway around the track now, coming back through turns 2 and heading into turn 1. He's truly giving it the full-on Alan Kulwicki tribute lap here tonight.
He's got to save that engine is what he's got to do. But we haven't seen him burn it down quite yet.
I know it's a long race here tonight, folks, and thank you so much for staying tuned in. And we'll get into those interviews here shortly. I'm just giving the stage here to our man, Devin Butchino, this season paying tribute to his mom here. And here he is coming all the way full circle here, back to the front stretch. The crowd, they have not left their seat. They're going to stand here and celebrate with Butchino as he's going to burn it down now. I'm
surprised Ryan Gomes didn't go with him there at the end.
Right. Yeah, it was, like I said, it gets to the point where it's one man against everyone, and that, teammates work alongside each other up until the moment that I guess the
lobby closed.
The lobby closed, dang it. Well, we'll go ahead and get into our interviews here. What a way to end the lobby with him in the middle of a burnout there, right at the 2-hour full length mark. We are going to go ahead and interview our third place finisher here tonight, Billy Titoff. Brandon and Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Billy?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Heck yeah, my man. What a race here tonight. You had all kinds of ups and downs. You were involved in a few wrecks, but you did not let that slow you down. You persevered and kept it going. What got you into this position here tonight? How do you feel?
Well, it feels great to. I think this is my first official podium in the league, so fun to come back. Just had a baby this year, so I haven't been able to race as much. I think this was my first race of the season, so it's been fun to be towards the front, towards the back, just in and around everybody. And Dev put me in a great spot there at the end, and just didn't have that last little push to get across the line.
Well, the Rowdies were definitely here tonight cheering you on in the comment section. You brought a whole fan base with you, and they were ecstatic to watch you put on a clinic here tonight. Are we going to see any more races throughout the rest of the season, or was Talladega kind of the one track you had circled here?
I'll probably be in and out a little bit more the rest of the season. Talladega was circled. I was going to try and come back last week, but Dover isn't my best track, so I didn't think that was the best opportunity. So glad I got to get out here to Talladega and have some fun and have some time up front and make some things happen. Have some fun with no points on the line and just see what we can do.
I'll go ahead and hand over the mic here to Brandon. Let him ask you a question.
we saw you in that absolutely hard crash there with just about 10 laps to go, and to see you charge back through the field, what was that like? And I know you said you didn't have a push. What do you think it would have been detrimental on your part to throw that block that late on Devin coming to
He
the
had
line?
the run, and I just went and watched it back. And as soon as he dipped out, he was already at my quarter panel. So I'm glad I didn't even try. And I just was hoping to maybe catch Ryan there a little bit sooner, but Walden gave him a good shove, gave Dev a good shove there, and we're kind of flying by the seat of the pants.
Heck yeah. Well, is there any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight from Talladega?
Well, I gotta thank my job, Siemens, for allowing me to put the name on the car. And Dev for the push there, but my family, my buddies that are all in the chat, thanks for watching. It's fun. I see that my phone going nuts during the whole race, so it's fun to catch up with them afterwards.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we see more of you this remainder of the season. Celebrate this podium finish, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one.
You too. That was your third place finisher, Billy Titoff. We will go ahead and grab Garrett Walden for his second place interview here. Garrett, this is Jacob and Brandon in the booth. Do you copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
Well, you got the teammates up there working with you, and you were still able to bring it home second. Was it kind of a team tactic there at the end with you, Vince Brent, and Parasini to work for the win together, or was it kind of gloves off, everyone man for themselves?
I think as as a team, you run together as a team as long as you can at plate races like this, because it's kind of an advantage if you can get your teammates, yourself, kind of like everyone around you, that that you trust. I mean, at the final lap, we're trying to stick together. I feel like the lines just kind of came together because the side draft is such a big thing with this aero package. And then after that, you just kind of go and just find the gaps where you can. So,
How do you feel with Charlotte?
um, um, track, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I practiced it and I raced it a lot, so track, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I practiced it and I raced it a lot, so I felt pretty comfortable. Top 10 finish or even top 5. So, kind of looking forward to that one.
Awesome. Well, I'll shoot Brandon over here with the mic and have him ask you a question.
Well, I know you said there's usually there's not a whole lot you can do with putting your race in other people's hands. They're coming to the checker. Is there anything you felt like you could have done differently to end up with the checkered flag tonight?
Um, I don't think so. Just because Matt was not close enough. I don't think so. Just because Matt was not close enough to me to make the run. I had a run, but I don't think if I pulled to the right of Devin at that point, I don't think I would have passed him. I could have got alongside him, but I probably wouldn't have passed him there. I think at that point I was just kind of getting everything I could and try to drag Matt with me to try to get a top 3 as well, but it wasn't close enough. I mean, he got close, but it just wasn't close enough. So I feel like I did the best I could with the options I had in front of me. So you're coming to the checker at 190 mile an hour, so you just kind of knee jerk reaction. So I mean, probably I could have done something different, but I feel like I did the best I could with what I saw in front of me.
Yeah, it's definitely hard coming down to the end of these races, making those split-second decisions. I know Lauren Vincent last night felt kind of like he could have made some moves there at the end, and it's just hard. At pace, there's a lot going through the windshield, and we're talking about seconds and even increments of a second that you got to make those decisions. So, at the end here tonight, any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank for getting you this point?
Just big shout out to my team, Cypress Academy, all the guys we ran together, Vince and Matt. Then Ryan Hufford was with us, and so was Lauren Vincent was with us as well. Shout out to just everybody in the league. Good race tonight. I mean, I know the temperature's kind of flared. It's a plate race. It's going to happen. But raced around some pretty good guys. And big shout out to Travis Bennett, our biggest supporter. Miss you, man. And then shout out to my mom, who's always watching my races and cheering me on every single race. So that's about it.
Awesome. Well, keep this momentum rolling. Enjoy the second place finish, and we'll see you racing next week at Charlotte, your home track.
Yes, sir.
That was second place, Garrett Walden. So we'll go ahead and dial up the race winner of the evening, Devin Butchino. This is Jacob and Brandon in the booth. Do you copy, Devin?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Well, congratulations on getting the win here tonight. Talladega definitely is one of those tracks that's trying on people. You got to get through it. It's aggressive. It's draining. There's a lot of late minute decisions you got to make, and you were on top of it here at the end. Walk us through the final lap here. How did you feel getting to the finish, getting the checkered flag?
Yeah, I knew the biggest thing for us was just getting from the bottom lane to the top. It seems like they were joking. Billy was asking me before the last restart what lane we want to be in, and I told him I've been trying to figure that out for the last 2 hours and still didn't know. And then something happened into one on the white. I'm not sure, but yeah, we were able to stay lined up. Billy, myself, and Ryan, Team Neon. Yeah, the seats kind of parted for us, and then I was just trying to tell Billy stay middle down the back to keep Ryan, pull down to the bottom into 3 and 4, and I feel awful making the move on him, but he ran a perfect race. I mean, even in Discord, we were telling him he ran a perfect race. I just had to get one for my mom this season, man. For the guys dedicating the season to my mom, I had to get one for her. So I apologize profusely to Billy, and I am forever indebted to Garrett Walden, man, for that push. I said before the season even started, being away for 8 months, not expecting a lot. Drivers have gotten better. The cars have changed, and it's been an okay season for us. We have not had winning speed outside of maybe Kansas. I just had to get one for her, and I had to make that move. And I hate it for Billy because, like I said, he ran a perfect race. His teammate, those moves are always tough on a teammate, but I just had to get one for her. And she was a big supporter of this league and everyone in it. It's going to be weird going to watch the race with my dad and have her asking, oh, did I win? Even though I only come to watch the races that I win. I don't come there to make my dad sit through my losses. And I'd always tell her to go, shh, we got to watch the race first. So I'm very excited to get one, man. Like I said, forever indebted to Garrett Walden and just happy to get one for her, man. Definitely the coolest win of my iRacing career, and I don't think anyone will ever top this one, man.
Well, I could feel the emotions, and I tried the best to capture the celebration at the end of the race here, given the spotlight on you. It looked like the server closed before we could finish your burnout celebration. I guess it got past the 2-hour mark, and the server kind of shut down there. But we got the Polish victory lap that turned into the burnout, the donuts there at the front stretch. Emotional, hard-earned, and definitely with the momentum, I'm sure this will help you putting the chase up in the front view here. And yeah, Talladega, I guess, was this one of those tracks that you've had good success at before?
Not really. I'm not a big fan of these races. I like being able to be in control of my own races. Super speedways, I love pushing. I hate getting pushed. That's why I was just high, wide, and handsome with Billy there on the white. Perfect position. We got one back in season 9, I think it was, or season 10. No, season 9 on a late green white checker too. So I'm approaching 800 starts in this league. So you're bound to get 1 or 2 at these super speedways, which is the case for me because I don't have the whats to try and stay up front and lead them all no matter what I try to do. I always chicken out and just hope to find myself somewhere at the end. So yeah, second one here in the next gen. So just thankful. It's a cool place to win, man. It's not easy. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But I thought we put on a hell of a show. I cannot wait to watch this. I feel like we got some pretty wicked green flag racing, pack racing, probably the best we've seen in a long time in this league at a super speedway.
Oh yeah, no, it's always a wild card when you come to Talladega. We were treated to an excellent race here tonight. I'll go ahead and hand the mic over to Brandon and have him ask you one question here as well.
Things got pretty hectic, there at the end. Congratulations on the win once again. I know it's got to be an emotional victory, but when you made the move on the 79 to take the lead, Did it concern you at all when Ryan did not go with you?
It did a little bit. Maybe concern is not the right word. I get what you're saying, but Ryan's winning move. If you watch the replay back, it looks like he took a peek to want to make a move inside of Billy, and it just wasn't there. And if I would have lost this race to Billy Titoff or Ryan Gomes, I would have been okay with that. I would have went to bed with a smile on my face and woke up with a smile on my face still. Um, we didn't have quite the run that we needed because I know if you get a run and you just park it quick on the right quarter, pull off, you can normally get it done by yourself. But it was a little early for that. It was going to be a long way to the start finish line if it wasn't for Garrett. Um, but yeah, like I said, I just can't thank Garrett enough for coming in there, giving me that shot. Um, yeah, I've screwed up that move 1,000 times, I feel, and I've got lucky once now on that move. So it's not a great batting average, I guess, but it's super speedway racing, man. I think most of us hate it until we get into situations like that. And then it's just you kind of black out and then just stare at the scoring box and see where you got. So I do appreciate my teammates. We worked really well together. Ton of communication in the Discord. Yeah, wouldn't have been there without them either tonight for sure.
Well, he
That
can't.
was a very, very interesting finish. I mean, both me and Jacob screaming at the finish at the finish there.
Yeah, you can't see it, but I got a big smile on my on my face just listening to the interview here. Definitely a awesome win. It'll be a favorite for season 12 here for sure. And give us the shout out for any other sponsors, fans, friendly, wanting to thank here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys, everyone at Intensity for putting this on. You, Jacob, and Brandon for spending your Wednesday nights doing this. All the drivers that show up and make this league what it is, all the admins, Ryan, Josh, Sharn, Lauren, Sylvan. Yeah, for dedicating this season to her. Yeah, just dedicating this win to my mom, man. Like I said, biggest supporter of this league, man. She loved it. She would tune in and comment. To go from Tammy Strong and all the support we had for that to now winning with that sticker on the back bumper. It's just awesome. I'm just gonna soak it in. I don't care if we're sim racing at the end of the day. It's a really cool memory. I know she's watching down, smiling ear to ear. She's the first person to ask me she'd stay up and watch them when she did not stay up this late. So yeah, just got to dedicate it to her. And then, yeah, sponsors don't matter as much on a night like tonight. Just want to dedicate it to her. Thank you guys for doing this. And I cannot wait to go watch this one back probably 1,000 times for the rest of my life.
Heck yeah, my man. Save it to your favorites. Keep it there. And I think, yeah, have your dad watch it too. That's going to be awesome. So have a great night. Let it soak in. I'm sure it's going to take a while to really let it soak in. But congratulations once again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you have it, folks.
That
That one got me choked up a little bit too. So it's amazing, Even we're like he said, at the end of the day, we're sim racing, but it's a whole lot more than that. There's a reason why we get all the right people in the right places. And then they reach out and get people to help cover the races, broadcast the races. It's its own little ecosystem. We basically host, our own little universe of race cars, and that's what I love about iRacing. All the other, sports video games, you can get more excitement, you can get more emotion than even the real life stuff sometimes, and that's what we saw here tonight. Any other closing statements on your end there, Brandon?
I just wanted to piggyback off something something you just said with the sometimes you get more excitement. Well, you're getting a bunch of regular Joes out here sim racing on a Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday night. These guys aren't media trained. They're gonna let the emotion show through. And as someone who has run a league race on the day that they lost a family member, and won that. I mean, I'm not saying I know he probably didn't lose his mom today, but as somebody who's lost a family member and went out and won a league race later that day that had been broadcasted, it's a pretty big thing. It's very emotional. I do understand exactly where he's coming from with all this stuff and going back and watching it because every once in a while I go back and watch that race that I won for my grandpa. So
And it's got to be therapeutic at the end of the day. I mean, that closure kind of comes in a different form. Obviously, you're doing what you enjoy, something that makes you happy. And I'm sure your grandpa, and just like Devin's mom here, it made her happy to tune into these races. So this one, like he said, for his mom here tonight. The series dedicated this season to her, and more than amazing here, getting to see that 68 parking in victory lane. So thanks again, Brandon, for the coverage, commentary here tonight. And apologies we didn't get things sorted just in right situation here tonight. I'll try to give you a heads up next time if work doesn't keep me so busy. Work had me a little bit busier than normal, and I just totally spaced it out. So appreciate you hopping in here halfway through tonight, and glad we got treated to such an excellent emotional finish here tonight.
Absolutely. I'm glad I joined in when I did, and got to witness the finish of this race. I mean, an absolute, I feel like that's got to be an absolute classic for the SCSRA.
Goes down in the record books for sure. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. Great finish, great action, and we have one more race in the regular season on to Charlotte. We thought tonight was the longest race of the season. Next week at Charlotte, 300 miles, just a little bit longer than here tonight, where I think it's at about 250 or 200 miles, Talladega. So, yeah, 2 hours racing here tonight. We'll be in for another 2-hour slobber knocker next week at Charlotte. So, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out there. Cherish those loved ones. Hold them close and near. And remember the memories of those that have passed on. Obviously, they'll always be there in memories, and that's the big thing about it all. Life in general is holding on to the memories, those that we've lost, and keep them close to your heart. We'll see you next